Okay, in this video we're going to review the two .22 pistols I recently bought here and took out to the range. The Taurus TX22 and the Kel Tec P17. Now, I will do more testing with these because no matter which way you look at it, even though I don't believe the prices are reasonable, the 22 long rifle is still more economical. To go out and fool around. You know, I can expend 200, 250 rounds of 22 and maybe have only spent $20, $25. To do the same thing with 9mm, or even worse, 380 is more expensive than 9mm now. You know, if I went and burned up 250 rounds of 9mm, it's $100 or more. And it brings up another point. I'm not sponsored by anyone. No one gives me the guns that I use in these videos and test. Okay? And that's why, you know, you come back 3 years later, 2 years later and go, how's the gun doing? Well, I may have traded or sold it to get something new. Okay? I can't keep all of these guns. They're not given to me or loaned to me. Okay? So that, and also the testing was kind of skewed. Like I said, I kind of stopped making videos for a while. I have some ongoing health issues, and really when I went out to test those guns, it was just I had the time and the weather was right. But physically, I had issues where the shooting wasn't that good. Hopefully, I'll rest up here and then next week be able to get out and do a more concise shooting of the firearms and get some real accuracy. The accuracy displayed in those videos was not good, and that was basically my fault, not that of the guns. So bear that in mind, and that's why we're going to rehash all this and go out again and do some more shooting. All right, so let's look at them, and I'll go over the two different pistols and what I just basically found out right off the bat. Okay. All right, what we have are two .22 pistols. We'll put them kind of in the same category, and what it is in terms of price. Okay, I guess at one time the MSRP on this is like $199. You do not find any of them for sale for less than $200. It's usually $230, $2 something. And they sell out pretty quick, the Kel Tec guns. Kel Tec pistols are very popular and they do sell out. Why? I think more because of the price point than anything else. If you look at a comparison of .22 handguns, okay, and we're talking Walters, Rugers, Smith & Wesson makes a gun now, and there's scaled down versions of the 1911 in .22. Most of these guns retail more from $400, around the $400 range and up. So the bargain gun or whatever, the lowest price in some lineups that you'll find online at about $300, a little over $300. Another thing, I am going to make a video discussing the prices of currently manufactured guns, ammunition, and other things. So we'll cover that in another video. Okay, so I did state what I paid for the weapons in the videos, but if you didn't watch them, it was like $320 or $30 for this, something like that, and about $285, $90 for this after I paid there's an extra $20, so actually in reality it's like $270 to get it shipped if I bought this through a retailer, okay, where I didn't have to pay a transfer fee. So I overpaid on this, and that's why I'll make that other video. But we took them out. Both of these guns have 16 round magazines, okay. The Taurus comes with 2. And the P17 comes with 3 in the box. So that's comparable. Both of them have threaded barrels and have, you know, the threaded end of the barrel hidden, not protruding, and you take out, and there's an adapter included with each gun, so you can put a suppressor or muzzle device of some sort with them. So these both have threaded barrels, okay, which some of the more high-end models, you have to get a specifically different model with a threaded barrel, okay. So this is standard on both. Both have a manual safety, both have just a one-piece trigger, okay, other than the general two-piece triggers. Now, when it came to function on the guns, if you watch the videos, all right, the Taurus TX22, okay, I think I had one failure to chamber, and that was because I probably didn't place the round in the magazine correctly, and I think I had one other malfunction with a cartridge. But like I said, the whole intent of me doing this is getting rid of this older ammo, and sometimes 22 ammo, even though it's stored well, can deteriorate over time. Now, bearing that in mind, the functioning of this gun was, I'd say, almost perfect. Everything was fine. Magazines worked well. Okay. This pistol has the size and feel of a full-sized handgun. Okay. So that's another thing you have to get used to. What was throwing me off is it is sensitive to where how I pulled the trigger, how I held the gun, the pressure and all that other stuff. So a lot of the inaccuracy, I believe, was on my end personally, but altogether this gun is probably out of the two the best in terms of handling, functioning. Now, the only thing that I did have a little bit of a hiccup or difficulty with was the sights. And if you can see and look here, you see where the rear sight and there's a little bit of space where this thing moves with the screws, and it's kind of on center. When I got this gun, it was like wedged. This movable rear piece was all the way to one side. And I had some difficulty in which way to turn it or whatever, but finally I got it to where now there's an equal distance and the height went up. Then I kept turning the screw the same way to drop the rear sight all the way down. So the sights were a little funky, as is in the box, and took some tweaking and fooling with to get to work or get them on. The 3 dots, some people don't like it, but I don't mind it. Somebody sent me a comment saying that they blotted out the rear ones and just used the one, which, you know, again, this is a matter of personal preference. Other than that, the gun functioned well, handled well. You know, I got a little... And I did find a simple nylon holster that clips on your belt to hold the gun there, just for convenience. So this pistol has a lot going for it right out of the box, good function. Like I said, the only problem I had with the initial break-in of the gun was getting the sights dialed in, okay? Other than that, pretty cool. Now, when we went to this one here, the P17, this one did not go so well right from the beginning. All right, this gun has more of a basic feel to it, pretty much not as well contoured or feels good in the hand in one way. This is more of a basic, simple gun, and that's why the price point is about truthfully about $100, a little more than $100 difference. But these guns are popular. People rave about them. They're simple. And I had malfunctions right from the start. And what the problems were is basically the cartridges were not stripping off of the magazine. Now, the thing I did is I did load, because I got this gun, the Taurus first, and the Taurus does have a window in it, okay, where you can see where it's loaded. This one does not. And what I was doing is I was basically just shoving cartridges down into the magazine, not counting until I couldn't get any more in. And I think I overfilled the mags and jammed them, which was number one. And what would happen is if the slide was down and I tried putting the magazine in, it wouldn't go all the way. It didn't have the room to close because there was probably 17 cartridges in the mag. That caused a bit of a malfunction. So I shot a bunch of mags until I realized this, and then what I was doing is loading 15 rounds into the magazine. So that one malfunction went away. Now, a couple people have called me and said something. If you go online and look on videos about this gun, there have been a couple different versions, or when this first came out. There was a magazine safety, a guy does a video, there was a magazine safety in the design of this weapon. It is not in there, the magazine safety in the spring. And if you watch the fellow's video, he shows you, and I looked in my gun, those parts are missing, okay? So there is no magazine safety. The gun will fire with the magazine out. Now that was one issue. Now somebody else said another about when this lip here, somebody sent me a comment saying that what happens is when you put that lip in there, that it will push up on the slide stop. Okay, and this was an issue people were having is when they fired the gun, it would come back and hit the slide stop like there were no cartridges in it. Okay, and that was something about the magazine and shaving something off the magazine. That is not what was happening to me when I fired this pistol. When I would fire this pistol, the reason it would stop and click like that is it would strip a shell off, and the shell would be, like the nose of the bullet would be going into the chamber and it would just hang. And then I found, as I fired the gun more, if you watch the video, after the first 3, 4, 5 rounds or something, it would stop doing that. Then it started functioning properly to where towards the end, after I ran some more magazines, it would only do that a little bit and then function irregardless of the type of ammo, okay? Because like I mentioned before, ammunition sensitivity in all 22s can be an issue, okay? I think my friend had a Walter Q22 that it just didn't like the federal ammo. He had it, I had it, and I put Remington Gold bullets in and the damn gun functioned fine from then on, okay? Some guns do not like, you know, in 22s, they don't like some ammo. Center fire too, okay? It's just the lay of the land. So what I believe was going on with this gun, and I'll show you how I came to that conclusion, is this thing was wearing in. This weapon is not that precise, okay? And how I came up with that idea is if you look on the inside of this slide or whatever, you can see wear marks where it wears. It's been rubbing on something. That was when I got this pistol, that finish, those wear marks weren't on there. And also on the top of this block here, there's wear marks. That was all black and it's wearing right there. Now that tells me that the fit is not too great if that's wearing like that. And I guess when this comes back, yeah, it's hitting, it's full recoil coming back. The manual does tell you to use high velocity ammo or the gun will not function. Okay, meaning that they know that this is not a very smooth operating pistol. Okay. The Taurus, I took it apart, no wear, the finish is all there. There's no problems with this whatsoever. Nothing like that at all. Okay. This gun, the functionality and the operating is perfect on it, right out of the box. This here, obviously, you have noticeable wear after, I'd say, say 100, 200 rounds. And the gun is getting better. Also, somebody sent me a comment on the video shooting this that told me all this is a piece of metal and this could break off and then the rear of the slide will fly back and hit you in the head and kill you. That is some people's opinion. Some people do a video where they rave about this gun. Okay, I'm not going to quite write it off as a bad purchase. There's a lot of features in here, and the one thing about this firearm, when I picked it up and shot it, even though, like I said, I was having problems, I was right on with this gun. Okay, I've never had a fiber optic sight, and even with this blacked out, that fiber optic sight, you could pick it up. I've never used them, never really had a firearm with them on there, but the sight is easy to see, easy to pick up, even with overcast. It was an overcast day, cloudy. The sight picture was easily obtainable, and when the gun did function, it shot pretty straight, pretty good. Okay, so we got pros and cons with it. Now I'll get this sucker back together, and we'll go on with the review. Okay, so my basic conclusions for the stuff right out of the box. Okay, here's the first thing, is the price point. People were telling me they were buying this pistol for $160, probably at one time. Like I said, I'm going to make another video on that. That ain't the way it is. Everything in the firearms market is crazy, and demand, availability, and there's no true way of gauging prices, and you have to be careful when you shop for any handgun, rifle, whatever. This here too, availability. Okay, I made a drive to the store because they said they had one in stock. They didn't. I did find one at on their national level, which any of the retail stores like Cabela's, this was at Bass Pro, Academy Sports, and Sportsman's Warehouse are the main sporting goods stores in my area. Any one of these places, you can go to their website, see if they have it available. You can purchase the firearm and pay for it, okay, on the website. It will be delivered to the store. Sportsman's Warehouse, it's like they have every 2 weeks or 3 weeks a shipment. You might have to wait a while, but you bought and paid for the gun with a credit card, and it comes into the store. You go there, hand them the little slip. They come out, do the background check. You don't avoid the background check, but you're not charged shipping either. But you will find that their prices are higher than other wholesalers who charge you $20, $30 shipping. So it all kind of comes out the same way. It's just if they have it available. That's a problem, okay? So with these two guns, my advice is, all right, if you can find this gun, okay, at the reasonable price, which would be about $200 if not less, okay, this may be a reason, and I think this is the reason a lot of people purchase it, is just because of the cost, okay, as compared to $300 plus up to $400 or $500, okay. This may be the reason why this gun is popular, and at that price, at $200 price point, you get what you pay for, and this is it. If you are a person that doesn't like malfunctioning, doesn't like the cheesy appearance and the hardware bolts in it and everything, then I would avoid this pistol. Okay, I would avoid it. I would go with the Taurus, because for the money compared to what's out there, which would probably be another $100, you could get a Glock has a full-size gun in 22. There are several other different guns there. The Walther Q22 is maybe a little bit more expensive than this, and it's one of those alloy frame type guns. It's not a bad gun. My friend had it, and I went out and shot it and that. But you see, the thing is, at one time, all of these guns were selling for a percentage less than the MSRP. Now they're not. So this is another thing when it comes to price. But in my opinion, okay, if you're the type of person, you don't like fooling with something, you don't like any type of malfunctions or whatever, or the look and appeal of the Kel Tec, then go with the Taurus. The Taurus I highly recommend. Is any 22, because my friends like them. They're accurate, they're fun to shoot, it's like a full-size gun, and it really isn't super expensive as compared to other companies' models of a similar type of gun. All right. I'm not going to give up on the Kel Tec or tell you it's junk. It's just I overpaid for it, but I kind of got a discount on this one, so it kind of all evens out. But this gun is a utility gun or something to carry. Once I work with it and find cartridges that work well, or maybe I just have to keep shooting this to wear it in, you know. Maybe even think about hitting the stone on the block and that, kind of polishing up some of the internal things to make this work better. Because there are people that fire 2,000-3,000 rounds out of these, okay? There's people that get better functionality out of it, all right? Maybe it's something you got to fool with, all right? But, you know, just for the average person, if you don't like things that you have little snags and that annoys the hell out of you, then stay away from the Kel Tec, okay? There's a lot of people that don't like any of these firearms. But on the other hand, there's a bunch of people that love them, okay? So, you know, again, it's up to you. But that's my first impression with it. We're going to go out again, and I am going to take my high standard Sport King out just to show you what the old school, the old way of doing stuff with an all-metal gun, back when they manufactured decent stuff in this country, and compare them to this here, in terms of shooting and everything else. So we'll do some more work with these, and if I do have to tune this up, modify it, or fool with it, I will make a video about what I did. This one here, I don't believe I'll have to do anything whatsoever to it other than just practice with it and become proficient. Alright, so that's my initial look at these. And you could take it, you know, take the advice any way you like. But yes, it's my opinion. If you really don't like fooling with stuff or stuff that's going to act up on you, I'd avoid this gun. All right? Okay, guys, stay tuned, and we'll try to get some more videos up shooting these pistols.